I am a capital advisor. I work with my clients to help them find and raise the money that they need in order to meet their goals. Sometimes we have to help stabilize a business if it's not performing well, and other times we just provide growth opportunities as well. So we work with banks, we work with alternative lenders and other sources of capital to help them achieve what they're trying to achieve. I got started in business in a very backdoor kind of way. I was a teacher for the longest time. I taught music, and at a certain point when I found that I had to exit that career, I found myself working in a company, and I started very simply as working in their office. And as my role changed and I got more and more responsibility, I learned a lot about the business and finance side. I became the controller, and I, in that process of bringing QuickBooks into the business and doing a lot of just a lot of the financial operations, we discovered the company was in trouble, and so I helped them go through a turnaround and manage a lot of challenging things. And so I never meant to be in business, but when I took that job, it brought me into a family-owned business and showed me some of the needs that there are for business owners in that lower middle market. And it sort of drew me then into how can I be a helper for business owners and people that may have exceeded their own knowledge and ability to get through the challenges that they face. I love consulting because I get to meet a lot of different people. I get to see a lot of different things, and I get to bring what I know to those people and to those situations. And because I have that teacher background, I think that I naturally bring in just a lot of empathy and desire to not only solve a problem, but also educate on how they got there and maybe how to avoid that, or if there is a problem, maybe, educating on how to get through the banking system or a financing project. So it allows me to not just be a tactician and be technical, but also get into really supporting the growth in very simple ways too, like culture of a business. Working with a company right now that has expanded very quickly and brought in some new accounting personnel, and they're not used to having that. And so being able to work in the background of that project and, kind of whispering in their ear about how this new role is going to help you in your current role, and so it allows me, I feel like consulting allows me the opportunity to listen, learn, but also provide just support in a lot of different ways, not just that particular issue. I have a variety of different opportunities that I have worked on and work with currently. And I'll go backwards a little bit. Right now, I'm working with a bunch of clients. One, we're taking through an ESOP process, which meant that we had to help them really prepare the company for sale. And then going through the ESOP process itself requires a lot of professionals. And so we've been bringing that team together, as well as providing the financing that's necessary to buy out the owner. So that's a current project we're working on. Last year, closed a startup business for vertical farming in containers in Massachusetts, which allowed that group to basically farm all year. Even though we're buried under snow right now, they're still growing fresh produce for us. That was an SBA deal that we put together. And then also in the past, and I see this often actually, is real estate, refinancing a real estate owner-occupied business that allowed the owner, who was not in the best standing with his bank, it allowed him to pay that previous bank off so that he could then determine when he wanted to exit his business versus the bank making that decision for them, because ready to do so. So, really the opportunities that I've had to help people come in a lot of different ways, but it's usually providing that financing relationship with a new bank and a new product to help them get where they want to go. I think for me, and this is going to be different for everyone, but for me, it's to not take it personally. I didn't do something wrong. A lot of times the business climate is just challenging and there are a lot of factors. And so taking the emotion out of a problem is really important. Managing the emotion that can come, especially like if I have a client who's struggling with their relationship with their current bank, where they might not understand why the bank isn't happy with them. And I'm trying to find them a new bank. And sometimes those situations can get very emotional and can get in the way of trying to solve a problem. And so I would say, I don't know if it's a specific lesson, but just an approach for me is to take the emotion out, because I could give you lots of examples of where emotion has really, really hurt people that are trying to solve problems because they just get in their own way. I think my best advice for entrepreneurs and owners really is to know what you know and then bring in the people for the things that you don't know, rather than thinking you have to be a master of all the aspects of running your business. Even if you're a smaller business, it's very important to have an accountant who is not just filing your taxes, but providing some advice or taking a little more interest in your business. And if it's not an accountant, it's some kind of financial advisor. I think having the proper professional team around you is the most critical thing you can do. Even if it's just you're in a smooth time, I think it's really important to have people that have done what you're doing, where for you it might be the first time, for them they do it all day, every day. And I think that will make a huge difference in the growth of your company. I think the biggest challenge facing business owners right now is the uncertainty in just about every aspect of the marketplace, and also the access to so many people's opinions on what to do. And I think it freezes people. I think it causes an inability sometimes to know how and what next steps to take, which kind of ties to that other point of having advisors around you that can sort of narrow all that information that's coming at us into, your situation where we are right now. Because the world isn't doomed and there's winners and losers every day. We can keep making good progress and taking good steps, and we can keep doing what's good for your business. You don't have to be stuck. But I think that if you're relying on, just all the information that comes at you to try and figure out what's next, I just think it's too much. And so people get stuck in all of that in the middle of the uncertainty in general. So I think too much noise is really one of the biggest challenges. I think just in general, I think that being a business owner and an entrepreneur is a very unique and it's a wonderful path to take, but it's almost the hardest path to take too, because what you're doing is different than a lot of people. And so I guess just being honest with what you're trying to accomplish with yourself, and then bring the right people around, people that see your vision, people that are supportive, people that are willing to tell you the truth and point out maybe where you might be missing something, but people that care about what you're trying to do and accomplish. Don't go alone. And I would also say there's a lot of people like myself. I specialize particularly in helping with bank relationships and financing projects. but I also know a lot of people. And so the first thing I'll do if I hear something that makes me think of another advisor or another expert is I will just make that connection. And so surround yourself with people that are for you and will bring the right resources to you so that you can have the most positive experience you can in this growth stage and as being a business owner.